And as we discuss this visit to India, we must also understand the British Prime Minister's style of politics. Boris Johnson is a personality politician, the kind that Britain has not seen or not known since Winston Churchill. And much like Churchill, he's trying to shape the United Kingdom in his own image. Look at the blueprint that he unveiled today, the Integrated Defence and Security Review. Addressing the House of Commons this evening, Boris Johnson announced a sweeping overhaul of Britain's domestic affairs, defence, diplomacy, international priorities, a revamp that reflects the Prime Minister's freewheeling and disruptive personality. It lays out a more activist approach to international relations. It redirects London's foreign policy towards the Indo-Pacific. At the same time, it also lays out a plan to lift the cap on the number of nuclear warheads that the UK can stockpile, and a plan to outlaw any protests that can cause serious unease or annoyance. This blueprint is both consequential and controversial. Team Johnson is billing it as the most wide-ranging re-evaluation of the UK's place in the world since the end of the Cold War. How accurate is this assertion? Our next report explores.
The overriding purpose of this review, the most comprehensive since the Cold War, is to make the United Kingdom stronger, safer and more prosperous while standing up for our values.
It's an ambitious new chapter for the United Kingdom on the global stage. The Integrated Defence and Security Review promised to make the UK a global force once again, but without any old obligations. Here are 4 areas of interest and importance. The Chinese regime has been recognized as the foremost state-based threat to Britain. Speaking in the House of Commons, Boris Johnson singled out China as a country that will pose great challenges for the free British society. But he was notably cautious and measured in his statement. He also promised to work with China, where it is consistent with British values and interests.
That China will pose a great challenge for an open society such as ours. But we will also work with China where that is consistent with our values and interests, including building a stronger and positive economic relationship and in addressing climate change.
The Integrated Review also sets out a significant foreign policy shift, like the tilt to the Indo-Pacific. The Queen Elizabeth carrier will undertake its first operational deployment in the region. In April, the British Prime Minister will travel to India, and he's also looking to build a Quad-like alliance with Southeast Asian nations. With the G7 presidency in its hand, the UK has invited India, Australia and South Korea to attend the G7 summit scheduled for June this year.
Invited the leaders of Australia, South Korea and India to attend the G7 summit in Carbis Bay in June.
Some controversial decisions have also been taken, like a nuclear stockpile upgrade. Britain is lifting the cap on the number of Trident nuclear warheads it can stockpile by 40%. This decision will end 30 years of gradual disarmament since the Cold War ended. The increased limit from 180 to 260 warheads is largely aimed at building deterrence against hostile states. What about the UK's goal of reducing its nuclear stockpile? Here's what Boris Johnson had to offer as justification.
The new money will be focused on mastering the emerging technologies that are transforming warfare, reflecting the premium placed on speed and deployment and technical skill.
Another controversial decision is a proposed law on protest. What kind of protests will be allowed? Any protest which is noisy or causes serious annoyance will be outlawed. Those who indulge in such protests could face up to 10 years in prison. The law will also limit the right to protest outside the British Parliament. It will provide police officers with significantly greater powers to crack down. From global priorities to domestic concerns, this is indeed the biggest overhaul of British policy in a generation. Boris Johnson has led the roadmap for a post-Brexit Britain. Whether he will be able to get the UK to the desired destination remains to be seen. Bureau Report, WION. World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.